Okay. All right. So the first thing I want you to understand is that DevOps is focused on software development. Okay, so it's a software development methodology that brings together developers and operations. Okay, so that, for example, you can see in this diagram, right? You can see, so on one side, you have developers and testers, and on the other side, you have IT ops, okay, or IT operations. So now, if you put the dev aspect, if you put dev plus ops, you are going to have DevOps. Now, again, what is our end product? Or what is the end product of DevOps? The end product of DevOps is applications like what? Like this Zoom application, our WhatsApp application, the Facebook application. In fact, just look at your phone and look at all the apps that you have downloaded from Play Store or from App Store, right? That's what you can see DevOps in there. So isn't it exciting that you are, engaging in a program that is going to take you to the core of the things that businesses use, companies use, individuals use every day to transact business, for social communication and all of that. Like, it is just so wonderful and super exciting. Personally, I am so excited. And that's why, if you even want to get even more excited, right? Start reading DevOps job description, just behave as though you want to apply for the job, and just start, like, put your mind at work. Oh, wow, they're asking for this. What is this? They're asking for that. What is that? Right? And then say, oh, sir, I saw the job description. No, they're asking for Kubernetes. Oh, I said, you know what? Don't worry. We are getting there. I saw this stuff they're asking for application build technology. They're asking for application testing. They're asking for all of this. You know what? Don't worry. We are getting the server so that, you become excited, right? You become super ready and prepared. Why? Because you are studying and also researching, making sure that the skills you are gathering is what is matched to the job market. The good news is that DevOps job descriptions are almost the same. If you look at 1, 2, 3, you yourself, you will testify. So now, on one spectrum of the software development, right, we have developers and testers. Now, developers are those who are actually coding the application, all right? So in that spectrum, you have, individuals that have learned Python, okay? Now, if you want to develop the application to become what? If you want to develop, if you want to produce or create a Python application, then what? Our developers would be called Python developers, right? Now, so when the Python developers have written the code, before they even go in to start writing the code, what happens? Now, in the software development lifecycle, we have what we call, okay, planning and documentation. That's where everything starts. So it's just like, for example, you just have a crazy idea. Like, just if you read about how Facebook, was conceived, right? It was a crazy idea. So Mark was like, oh, you know what? Can we create an app where, we can connect friends around the world? They can just chat, share pictures, see their faces, So if I post a picture, a friend can comment, oh, wow, cute picture. You know what? That was a crazy idea. Okay, at inception. That's to tell you that every application that you see today, okay, was what came through an idea. It just came through, an ambition to solve a problem, right? And then from there, okay, yeah, I think it's possible. Then probably what? Maybe, he rushed in and contacted a few friends who were developers and said, oh, you know what? I'm thinking about this. I have a strong conviction for this, that, if we develop an application like this, we can connect the world together. Eventually, we can run in billions. And the friends say, oh, you know what? Yes, of course. Let's give it a try. So what? They sat down now and start coming out with what they call, a project documentation. Okay. So if you're thinking about Facebook, what are going to be the features? All right. Oh, okay. So the first feature, of course, is people need to create accounts. Okay, good. So account creation is a feature of the Facebook application. So when they create an account, what can they do? Okay, good. So they can upload pictures. Yes. They can maybe upload videos. Yes. They can, friends, they can add friends. Yes. They can send friend requests. Yes. They can accept friend requests. Yes. Okay, perfect. So what? Maybe that was the basic idea. So what? They went in and developed the application, and then with the help of the testers, they are testing the frameworks. Okay, and running unit test cases to make sure that before the application is tested, before the app is made available to the market, right? It must be tested the same way. So think about it this way, okay? You want to produce bread, you want to go and serve bread to an occasion or cake, right? Most likely you will not take your cake to a birthday without first of all testing it, right? Having a test of the cake. Okay, so what? The developers have to make sure that, that first they have coded the application according to the project documentation. And after that, okay, our testers are going to test the application. So on the dev aspect of DevOps, you have what? You have developers and testers, but who are writing the application source code and what? And testing the application. So in a typical DevOps team, because sometimes an interview is going to ask you, how many team members do you have in your team? So in a typical DevOps team, right, you are going to find yourself having, developers, you're going to have testers or QA. So what? In some environments or in some company, they call them testers, and other companies they refer to as what they refer to them as QA. QA is what is just a short form for quality analyst or quality assurance, right? And they play a critical role in the application development life cycle. Very, very important to understand that. Now, on the other spectrum, we have, the ops. So the ops are actually those who are operating and serving the application. But now, previously, before the coming of DevOps, what happens was there was a divide between these two groups, right? So there was no collaboration. In fact, they were working in what we call silos. Okay, so think of it this way. Okay, like you are working in a kitchen, you guys are running a restaurant, you have the chef, and then what? You have the kitchen assistant. But what? There is no communication. So let's say the kitchen assistant as well has produced the ingredients for a particular meal, and he doesn't communicate with the chef. So the chef has no idea what's supposed to be cooked. So what? Because of that, there was a lot of delay in application development and delivery to the market. But now when DevOps case, you know what? Instead of having these two guys work in their own walls, we can have them work in the same group. We can bring them to the same team on the same table. Then what? The word DevOps or the theory DevOps or the philosophy DevOps towards software development was what was then created. So now we have DevOps as what? As a combination of what? The working together of developers and operations. And now you are training to become a DevOps. So what that means is that you have a super understanding and knowledge of what the developer should be doing and what you are also what? In charge of that operation. All right. Very, very important. Let's see how it goes. All right. So of course, if you just search on Google, what is DevOps, you will see, a lot of definitions. One of them is what? Development and what? Development and operations, right? Development and operations. So what is a software development method that stresses on communication, collaboration, integration, automation, and measurement of cooperation between what? Between software developers, and other what? IT technology professionals. Now, very, very important. Did you see the very first, what, the very first, two components there? What? Communication and collaboration. Okay? Communication and collaboration. Now, most of you are already working, doing one type of job or the other. So what? You already have that skill. Those first two skills, right? Communication. Okay. One, you can what? You can communicate at your current job site. You are, I mean, you're what? You are communicating with your colleagues, be it via email, be it via, WhatsApp, or if you're what? You are communicating and collaborating. So now what happens? You're what? You are simply transferring these skills over to your new profession or to your new career. Most of the skills you are going to see, right, is what? Are skills that you already have. So what we are just going to add a few technical skills to that profile, okay, what to make you what more employable. That's the objective. Because you can see there what it says what it stresses communication and collaboration. Very important. Okay. So already most of you are already working and you are already, communicating, be it in English language or French, in whatever language, but what you are communicating through maybe spoken language or writing, good listening skills and all that it all forms the basis for communication. So communication and collaboration are the very core components of DevOps. It's important. Why? Because those two groups were first of all just working in their own worlds. So now what happens? DevOps brings them now together to work in one team. That's why, for example, in my team, we have we have a Microsoft Teams channel, okay, where I work. It's just like a WhatsApp group, right? Where we can communicate. So, if I was facing an issue, I can say, hey, you know what, uh Geoffrey, I'm facing an issue here. Can you help me? What? Geoffrey, okay, is what is going to see that message automatically, right? He's going to see the message and probably say, okay, you know what, Elvis, don't worry, I'll be on it. I'm going to be with you in about 2 hours. I'm going to attend to you. I can say, oh, Cynthia, you know what, I'm stuck here. My computer is stuck. I said, okay, you know what, don't worry. I'm getting back to you. As opposed to, oh, you know what, oh, my computer is broken. I don't know how to get to Cynthia. So I go on an email and I have to wait. You wait until maybe Cynthia is not checking her email. Maybe at the end of the day, she check her email like maybe 5 days from the day you send it. From the day you send that request. What happens? You have gone for 5 days without having to do anything on that project. Why? Because there is no communication, there is no collaboration, right? So that's why having a strong understanding on tools like Microsoft Teams is very, very important. In most job description, you are going to see that there. And that is why we at LionTech, we are investing in you to have what? To have these Microsoft products at your disposal. Okay. And, that's why we use Microsoft Teams. Okay. All right. So if you want to simplify the simple answer to what is DevOps is what is just working together, right? Developers and operations working together to produce software and deliver to the market, or to produce applications and get that application delivered to the market. Now think of something: the cars that you drive, it comes out as this. This is a Volkswagen. Or let's just compare this Volkswagen to maybe a cake, right? A cake, at least to all our female engineers in the house, they can explain to you the process of producing the cake, right? You must go to the market and buy the ingredients. The same thing. You must put components together. Okay, that's why I told somebody that women are DevOps engineers by nature. That's the truth, because if you understand their thought process, okay, the methodology and the efforts the processes that they put in place, to do most of the things that they do, especially in the kitchen. You are going to see DevOps there. So let's take a very simple example. You want to, produce something like cake, right? You go to the market, you buy all the ingredients, right? You're going to buy sugar. The sugar is a component. You're going to, well, of course, I don't know, I don't know much about cake, but I think maybe you need it's flour. I'm not sure. Of course, what you need you need some ingredients. So you buy these ingredients, okay? These are just ingredients. It makes no sense. It means nothing until it is mixed and produced and baked. So the same thing. When developers write a source code, right? It means nothing. I mean, if they show you all of this Python code or Java codes, right? It will make no sense in your head until what? Until we start working on that code. Like what? Like putting the components together. So we are going to understand, okay, how application is built, how software is developed with what? With DevOps build technologies or what? Build tools like Apache Maven. Okay, we'll come to understand that. All right. So you see a final car like this as a final product, and it comes to mind, what has been the process, for the development of this application, or of this car. And then what? Maybe if you are chance, you're going to be taken to the factory. And then what you can see how all the parts of that car have been put together, right? From the wheels, from everything. So what all of these parts put together, and then what maybe run through a system to compact the parts together, right? Then what we can see the car. But now let's have let's bring that analogy to our world of DevOps. So the car parts is equals to the code. And who are those coding? Our developers. So in this program, right, you are going to have access to a lot of applications. In fact, you are going to build applications. You'll see. Okay, these are live experiences. Okay, you are going to build, hotel management application. You're going to you have access to a lot of source code that you are going to use as a DevOps to build applications that you can share with your friends. Even online shops, online boutique shops, e-commerce, robot shops, right? We have a lot of those projects for you that you must do them, okay, as part of this program. So please get excited. Now, if you look at this carefully, the car parts is just what in the world of DevOps or software development is what. So this is equals to the code modules, the code, right? The source code, okay, that our developers are developing for the application. So normally, if you want to buy maybe a Tesla, and then probably let's say for example you want to buy a Toyota Tesla. I say, okay, you know what, Mr. Zhang, don't worry, your Tesla will be available, in 6 months. Then in 6 months' time, say, hello, Zhang, your Tesla is available. You are so excited, and you call some friend, oh, you know what, Thomas, my Tesla just arrived. I'm going to pick it up, and then you get there, and all they do is they give you the parts of the Tesla. Will you be happy? Like, will it make any sense to you? Right? It wouldn't make any sense. Okay? So the same thing. When developers write a source code, if that code is not built, if it is not integrated, right? If it's not built and goes through a software development lifecycle, it makes no sense. Okay? That's the point we're trying to make here. Very, very important to understand. The same thing, if you want to cook rice and beans, of course, you need, for the beans, you need the raw beans, you need, tomatoes, you need onion, you need all of those things, right? If you just slice all of that, get them ready and put them on the table, you cannot go and serve your kids raw beans. No, it wouldn't make any sense. You cannot even serve raw onion or raw tomatoes, right? All of this needs to be compact. All of it needs to go through a process Well, you must put the beans in the pot, cook the beans. When the beans is ready, you must wash the beans, and then you can mix the other ingredients like the tomatoes, the onion, and all of that, the A, B, C, D to F, right? Before that beans can be served to the clients. So we're able to go through a process. So the same thing now, if you have this mindset, this course will become so easy for you. And that's why I told so many of you, and you're doing your umbrella, but I know what? This is a very, very simple concept. Once you get the concept in your mind, you'll be, in fact, you will not even wait to finish, right? Because everything will become so clear. Once you can look at things around you and start imagining DevOps in it. And this is what makes you exceptional, right? And this is what makes this program exceptional. Why? Because no, it's not teaching you abstracts. Okay, we are teaching you and skilling you up for practical things, for the things that you do and you see every day around you. All right, and all of that. So now we have the car parts. Okay, in this case, you can say, you know what, our car parts is equals to our, our quote modules, and then of course we need to assemble the car through a process called what? Integration. So for example, we're into integrate the bonnet, integrate the electrical systems, the mechanical systems for the car to become a car. And of course, we must have assembly lines. So we are going to refer to it as deployment. So again, we are going to study deployment as part of this program. Of course, car parts are manufactured using machinery, but the fact is that in the real world right now, if you have a chance to go to Toyota, car factory, you are going to see more of robots. Everything is now being automated. Okay, human dependency in what? In developing software. Can we minimize that? The answer is yes. Through what? Through automations. So one of the very big benefits that you're going to see and that you're going to study and that you're going to become so experienced and do projects in them is what is about automation, right? Automation. If you've been to Walmart of late or you've been to any modern supermarket around you, you're going to see how probably they are beginning to transform their processes, right? Maybe 5 years ago when you went there, you had to stand on a long queue, to go through a cashier to check your systems, or to check out your items, right? But now you work in the shop and you have tons of machines that you can just walk there, you can scan your products, and then you can just click on pay now, and then you can pay. And if you need balance, the machine is going to dispense balance to you automatically, right? That is an example of automation. That is DevOps around you. So next time you walk in that shop, right, don't just shop in and out. Just stop around there, just imagine. Just just put yourself, in the shoes of those deploying this application and managing it from the back end. Again, you're what? You are being trained to become back end engineers, right? It's very important to know that, right? So not just see yourself, working for a company in the future, that is going to be serving these clients, maybe serving clients working at Walmart, or serving customers and shoppers for Walmart, for Best Buy, for eBay, for Amazon. The possibilities are limitless. Now, before the car is manufactured and sent to the market, it must what? It must be tested. So what? We must test the parts of the cars. So we must what? We must test parts of car, test the assembled car, and test car functionality. So no manufacturer of a car is going to, ship a car to the market without first of all testing, if the braking system is good, if the electrical system is okay, if the security system is okay. If you have seen on the news, and again, this is news flash, you see that if you're in Ontario, for example, right? Ontario is losing one car, like one modern car, 2022, no, 2020 to 2024 cars. Every 17 minutes in Canada, a car is stolen, right? So if you watch the stories and read the stories on how these cars are, so you say about that, the thieves need to what we need to disable, the security system of that car. So what before that car is into the market, but what they must test it to make sure what, oh, hold on 1 second. If this car is stolen, can we install a system that if the car is stolen, we can trace it? So let's test the car theft. So let's say, okay, somebody steals the car and maybe disconnect the security system and maybe ship the car somewhere around the world. Can we trace it? Most of these cars these days, my brothers, if you buy modern cars, they are super secure. Like, to be honest with you, super secure. I watched a video, a news where a journalist from CBC, they are tracing cars that have been stolen and shipped to Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana, especially. They travel there and they're able to go trace the cars right there in Ghana. So that should tell you, okay, the thought process, okay, the thought process and the effort that is what is put in the car assembly. So that testing is very, very important. So of course, with DevOps, we are going to use tools in the factory. They're going to use machines, to do the car assembly, to do the testing and all of that. So you are going to study tools like what? Like, what tools are we going to use to test our applications or to make sure that our applications are of good quality? Okay, you're going to learn those tools. Then of course you can see robots here. So DevOps is like what? It's like the robot which helps you build what? Better software or better application. So now that you have understood, the very foundation of DevOps and how DevOps is all around you, and how if you are a lady, you are implementing DevOps every second of your life, right? Let's now see how it goes. So learning DevOps is like learning to ride a bicycle. Okay, you learn to balance only when you are in motion. So the same thing, right? You're only going to understand this concept and enjoy it only when you get started like this. Now, if you're not in this call today, you are missing something. So being in class every day, attending your classes, doing your projects, okay, is a very foundation of becoming a DevOps engineer. So the commitment to start and finish is very, very important, okay? So learning what DevOps is like, learning to ride a bicycle, you learn to balance only when you are in motion. So please take that, very, very important. Okay. The other thing you need to understand is that DevOps replaces human task. And that's where automation comes into place, right? One of the very core components or core processes that DevOps is implementing, and that is why most companies are hiring DevOps engineers is because we bring in this idea of automation, automating everything, right? And we're going to learn this a lot, okay, as we build our faith, towards, in the course of this program, we learn a lot about automation. So it's very, very important to understand that. Okay, So, you are going to be creating robots. These robots here, we're talking about automation pipelines, for infrastructure automation, for application automation, and all of that, right? You're going to do a lot of stuff. So in this case, you need to be creative again, for emphasis, and innovative. Okay. Above all, you also need to be techie. So what does it mean to be techie? To be techie simply means you want to become a lover of technology. That's the truth. Okay. You are getting into tech. So become a lover of tech. So read about technology. Like, if there's a way, even if you can change the things that you read online moving forward, please do. Look for tech bloggers. Okay. Follow only tech bloggers. Why? Because that's a new place where you want to go. All right. No, follow even your comedians that you follow on Facebook should be tech comedians. Anything is not related to technology, what? Just don't put your interest in it. That's the first thing you need to have in mind. Okay, what? Become what? Become super interested in technology. So what? Read what? Tech newspapers, tech blogs, find out about new technology, like what is coming in the market. Has something changed? Find out, read about technology and what follow what? Also follow tech companies to find out, find out about, new technologies that are coming to the market and what try them out. It's very, very important. Okay, you must become what you want to become first in your mind before you can achieve it with your hands. Okay. So what you need to be creative and innovative as a future DevOps engineer, and above all, what you need to be techy. Then, of course, to start, okay, is just change in mindset. Very, very important. And what this applicable even when you have gone through this program and you're looking for a job. Okay. The first thing, the foundation for your success as a DevOps engineer is how fast can you change? Because you know what? We are going to change your mentality here. Okay. What we are bringing in new skills and new methods. So what? You must have a mind that is ready for change. So for example, are you ready to take this big step? Are you ready to become, a DevOps engineer? Are you ready to become techie? Are you ready to become innovative and creative? Right? Again, what? Start with a clean slate. So what it means is that for DevOps, okay, forget whatever you have heard about IT, okay? Whatever you have heard about, DevOps or anything, even forget about your past experiences. I don't care. Okay, I don't care if you have maybe worked as a DevOps engineer before somewhere, as long as you want to relearn DevOps or learn this theory or learn this new career path, you must start with a clean slate. So flush your mind and be ready for change. Keep your past behind you. So whether you have begun this program before and you didn't succeed, don't bring it here. Okay, keep it behind you. Don't worry about how difficult it was. Okay, that is irrelevant. I get what I'm saying. So keep your past behind you. The most important thing, like I said again, is be ready for change. Okay, be ready for a change in mind. In fact, for a change in career. So keep away fear and all of that. Okay, and be ready. The fourth point is to understand that you need to learn. That's the first thing. Unlearn, learn, and repeat. Now, to understand DevOps, this is the key. Okay, and this is the most important aspect of everything. Is to understand that you need to learn. So you need to study. Okay, unlearn, learn, and repeat. So what it means now is that at first, okay, the concepts may not be clear, but as you keep repeating the videos, as you keep doing that project over and over again, you are going to learn, maybe unlearn the second time what you not understood the first time, and learn new things and learn again until you become perfect. So learning is very important. Coming to class, going back and watching the videos. In fact, keep learning and repeat it to yourself. Okay, keep doing it until you understand it. Okay, and that is how you're going to succeed. Now, let me tell you a story. I don't know if any of you have been to math classes or if you have studied mathematics. There is no way you can just describe how to solve a very simple quadratic equation. Like, let's say, for example, okay, if they say, for example, okay, 2x, I know some people hate this one, okay, 2x plus 5 is equals to 10. And then they say find x, right? I know a lot of friends who, today they hate math because of X. I know what I'm saying? And I have some very, smart math teacher in this class that, I really want to honor you guys. I know what I'm saying? Like, so what? To study this, you must what? To find X. Now, this is not difficult, but what? If you don't sit down and practice it, you will never know it. I know what I'm saying? If you don't pick a pencil and do the mistake, in fact, what? Try to solve that equation, you will never, you'll never be able to solve this. Even if, we act that answer in a movie and tell you to watch it, right? If you don't practice it, it never sticks with you. But the moment you attempt to solve it with a mind of finding a solution, trust me, you are going to solve it and you're going to find the answer and you're going to become a pro in what? In simple quadratic equations like this. So the second most important thing is change. And again, what? Keep your mind open. Be proactive and what? You need to drive yourself. Okay? So what? You must keep your mind open. Okay? Now, most people will see this equation and from the word will say, no, that is difficult. Math is difficult. I hate maths. I get what I'm saying. Now, from their mindset, they have what? They've already been defeated. So, of course, irrespective of how you break down this equation, right? Trust me, they will not understand. Why? Because they don't want to understand. Why? Because their mind is closed. Okay? It's difficult, it's difficult. So to learn DevOps and become a DevOps engineer, you must what? You must have your mind open. Why? Because one, okay, we are learning technologies and what? These techs are what? Are being, renewed every day. So you must have your mind open for new tools. You must keep your mind open to learn new things. Okay. Keep what? In fact, have a possibility mindset. And of course, you are going to succeed and understand. So what? Keep your mind open, be proactive, and what? You need to drive yourself. Now, DevOps is a new culture. Okay. So in the software development lifecycle, what is DevOps bringing to what? It brings in a new culture, a way of doing things. So of course, you know what? You won't have any requirements. So most of the time, these big companies just come to you with ideas. You know what? I want to develop this application. I already have about maybe 26 million customers around the world. How can you help me? So what? You must what? Know that it's a new culture and what you will always be called to help. The second thing is what? Is that what? We are dehumanizing. Okay, so what? Follow the mantra. Any task should be done only once. So for example, okay, there's a concept in DevOps that we refer to as what? As build once and deploy many. A very good example is, let's say, for example, right, you have kids in the house. Today is Saturday, and you're thinking, oh, you know what? Okay, so they have to go to school Monday to Friday, and you want to prepare a meal that can serve them through Mondays to Friday. So, okay, you know what? I'm going to cook jollof rice. So what? You can just cook jollof rice and just pile it in the fridge. So you can prepare your meal and what and just keep it in the freezer or in the fridge where they could just take it from there and maybe serve themselves and eat. So that is the process of building the application once and then what serving it several times to different people, different persons in different environments. So what? DevOps follows what? The mantra of what? So tasks to be done just once. Okay? Done just once. So what? We want to avoid what? Avoid manual repetitions. Of course, you are going to learn about how to write small scripts, okay? To automate any task you should have what? That you should have been able to do manually. Okay, now the challenge should be the second time that you have to do the same task, it should take you less than the first attempt. So now let's understand the fundamentals of DevOps. So what are you going to be studying as part, in fact, what is DevOps all about? Now, The first thing you need to understand is that DevOps is here to automate nearly everything. Okay? And that's exactly what you are seeing even in the industry today. Right? And as you go ahead and you start reading job descriptions, you will see this keyword automation. Automate, 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 automate our builds, automate what our testing processes, automate our assembly, automate, continuous integration, automate, deployment, automate monitoring, automate alerts, automate everything, right? So that is what DevOps is bringing to the table. And that's why an understanding of DevOps is going to get you hired ABC. Okay, but what? You can start with some tasks which are the bare minimum needs of DevOps automation. Next few slides will explain, the fundamental concepts. So these are some of the concepts of DevOps. The first concept is versions control. Now, if you look at your WhatsApp, let me just shock you a bit. If you look at your WhatsApp version, I don't know, how many of you know the WhatsApp version that you are using at the moment? How many of you? If you know, just drop in the chat. And who can distinguish or explain to me the difference between the current version, okay, and the previous version? Like what changed? Okay, now what? This is an app that you use every day, but I want you to pay attention to the things that you use moving forward. Okay? But has any one of you noticed any changes in your WhatsApp application, be it in the last 6 months? Can you compare, like, has anything changed? Did they add a new feature and all of that? Okay? Sure. Okay, so what changed? Felix, what changed? Like, what did you see as a new feature being added to WhatsApp? Because what? Okay, okay, okay. You see that? This is what it changed. Somebody noticed avatar. Good. You see that? They have what? They have added an avatar. Very, very important. Okay, let me see again. What changed? Now what? Now you can send short videos. Awesome. Good. You see that? Sharing what? Sharing of screens. Okay. Edit what? Edit text. Edit what? Edit text after 15 minutes. Awesome. Voice what? Voice video. You see that? Now, but did you notice that the first time you downloaded WhatsApp, these versions were not there? Like these features were not there, right? It wasn't there. Now, how many of you have noticed a new features with WhatsApp that has to do with with approving group membership, right? Now you can approve what? You can approve membership. For example, if somebody wants to join a group, you can, instead of them to just join automatically, they can what? They can be put in a waiting group, and then you can manually approve whether you want them to join or not, right? So what? Those are features that have just been added. There is also one that was just added now. Somebody mentioned about, of course, the new edit option. Okay, I use that option field, of course. See that? So what? This is DevOps in action. So when an application is first released, right, it has what? It has a version. So you are going to understand you're going to become an expert, okay, when it comes to versions control. Because versions control is what is directly related to the version of our application. So version 1 was what? No admin approval. Versions 2, admin approval. Versions 3, short video calls. Versions 4, are you seeing that? Oh, versions 1, versions 2 can what? Can have all of those features embedded. So then what? You have a new release. That's why you're going to understand, in fact, deployments. So when we have what do we do? We need to deploy that release. So now, do you also notice that you can now sign out of your WhatsApp application? Like you can sign out. If you don't want to use your WhatsApp, maybe you are at work right now. Okay, you can what? There's now a sign out option, which is super awesome because it's not every time that you need to be on WhatsApp. There are some times that you need what I call social media fasting or WhatsApp fasting, to think for yourself, because WhatsApp can consume your life and your destiny, to be honest. I get what I'm saying. It can what? It can make you or marry you. But I pray that social media, we are going to use it for what? For our advantage, to empower ourselves and empower our community. I get what I'm saying. Good. So now, okay, you are going to what? You are going to study about GitHub and what? And source code versions control. It's a very, very interesting concept. And we're going to go through that. Keep what? Keep in mind that version control can also what? Be applied to infrastructure, configuration, and databases, but what? This can be studied in depth later, okay, in your journey of what? Of implementing DevOps. The next fundamental concept here is continuous integration. Okay, of course, what? Automation again, okay? Early what? Enables what? Early detection of problems in integration. It includes what? Several components, what? Automated code reviews, automated code analysis, build tools, automated unit tests, and automated what? Integration test. Then, of course, we have what? Automated code reviews. You see the tools here that we're going to study, okay? SonarQube is going to be studied there, all right? And, of course, build tools, we have what? Maven, we have Gradle, we have Ant, we have Make, we have MS Build. For Artifactory management, we have what? Sonatype Nexus, and what? And Artifactory itself. For our CI server, we have, Jenkins. So what? You are going to study what? CI server, Jenkins. So this Jenkins, shippable. For configuration management, we have Ansible, Chef, Puppet, and what? For continuous delivery, we have what? We have, all of that. And of course, for our release management, we're talking about, okay, now, what is going to be the process of actually deploying our application to the market, right? Now, that is called what? A release management process. So in most companies, you're going to have a release manager, okay? A release manager who schedules when these new features should be made available to the customers, right? And of course, we also have, CM tools like what? Like, Ansible can be used there. CI tools like Jenkins can be used to release to the market. A tool called Capistrano can be used. We also have several like Azure DevOps. We also have tools like GitHub Actions can also be used. In fact, there are several tools. In fact, the tools keeps coming every now and then. That's why you need to be techie. You must subscribe to technology groups so that you can keep your mind, coordinated. It's very important. That's the only way you can stay motivated and interested in technology. Otherwise, you lose interest. Okay. Then of course, for monitoring, well, we are going to use tools like, we are going to study tools like what? Elasticsearch, Firebase, and Kibana, New Relic, server density, Datadog, Zabbix, and all that, right? And of course, what? So this is our introduction to DevOps. Okay, it's a very, very interesting journey that we're about to start. I hope that you really enjoy it. And I know that we'll be here for more than an hour and 30 minutes. So let's take a very quick break. And when we come back, okay, we are going to proceed with other aspects of this program. But before we do that, I don't know if anybody has a question. Please, if you do, you can ask a question and I'll be more than happy to answer.